Hello there and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name is Daphne. Thank you so much for joining me today. I wanted to take you along on a couple of projects that I shared over the spring summer season on my outdoor channel called Daphne's Outdoor Living. And I just wanted to be able to update you guys since I haven't been posting too often here on my original channel. So I hope that you guys enjoy. And what I would like to do today is to tackle this no-dig flower bed that we created several years ago. So I just want to give you a little backstory as to what we've done on the off season. So in the backyard, we had a new heating and cooling system installed, and the outdoor units are here on both sides of the home. So the large double stack unit that's here is flanking the side of the house, and I am looking for suggestions as to how I can screen it. So coming up a little later in the video, I'm going to put a couple of options up on the screen, and I would love it if you guys could give me your suggestions in the comment section which I should go with. So for now, we're just going to be cleaning out this ornamental grass. Usually in past years, I try to cut it down in the fall, but the timing just got away from me this fall, so I wasn't able to do it. This actually was probably only one of the projects that I wasn't able to do, so I'm pretty proud of what I was able to accomplish in the fall. But as you can see, these ornamental grass, if you leave them up, they just totally blow all over the place, and they are harder to be able to cut down in the spring when all of the grass has died and turned to straw pretty much. So we're just going to get all of this out. As you saw, I used my electric hedger, and we're just going to try to cut it as far down to the ground as possible so that once the new shoots start coming up, they come up fresh all the way throughout the plant. So at first I was thinking that I would just do a wooden slat mini wall just in the front so that I can conceal the side portion of the AC. So I'm going to pop up an image of what I was thinking. I'll pop up a couple of versions of it. But before I do that, during the install of the AC, apparently we had these huge roots that were in this area. Now I don't even know where these roots are coming from. I think it might have been the original bushes that were on the side of the house that was totally overgrown, and we couldn't even use the area where the barbecue area is now. So I'm thinking that that's where those roots came from. But I was very surprised when I started raking over here, because I've never had them exposed before. I guess when they were putting in the AC unit, they dug around and they exposed those roots. So I'm going to get my lobbers and I'm going to cut that out so that we can spread out the soil in this area and then just finish off this bed. So I'm just popping up different images. As I said, it's going to be a single screen, different variations, and then also later a trellis option. I was also thinking of not doing a wall, just doing something a little more sparse that will just have some type of vining, maybe like a star jasmine or something like that, so it'll have some type of interest. And I don't plan on making the screen too high. I just want to cover the AC because I still want to keep the side of the area open. I would like to thank you so much for joining me today. And if this is your first time by, I just wanted to personally welcome you to the channel. If you are new here, or if you're just liking my vibe, make sure that you leave me a emoji down in the comment section. letting me know where you are and if you're doing like any type of gardening. The emoji that you can leave in the comment section can be a plant emoji if you're liking my vibe. So I have to say, I really enjoyed being outside this past week. I was able to, do a little bit of work after work each day. So you'll see a lot of outfit changes. In some cases, I just came straight home, from work, changed my shirt, and then just went outside and, did a little bit, because I am an advocate for working anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes per day and just tackling those little projects. And you will be amazed after just putting in 10 to 30 minutes just one time in your backyard, how much you're able to accomplish. You can fill up a whole lawn bag. You can clear one full spot. It doesn't have to be intimidating that you have to spend all day in your backyard and wear yourself out. It's about taking little spurts and doing things that you know is going to have impact. Whether that's cleaning a spot, whether that's weeding, whether that's planting some flowers, just get out there and do something, and you will be amazed at how it looks after you finish. So I always suggest to just tackle 10-minute, 15-minute projects at a time. So this is how nice and fresh this area looks. So this is going to be the next day, and we're going to be moving to the front. So I just wanted to give you an overview of how the grass looked. Now, this year, I don't know, I probably didn't focus in on my lawn care as much as I did previous years in the fall, because I have a lot of weeds. But before we get started with that, I just wanted to look back at our past video, which is our spring front porch makeover. That video is going to be linked in the description so that you can check that video out. I am so pleased at how the front porch turned out. So while we have that, we are going to tackle the weeds. Now, one night last week, I came out and I sprayed the weeds. I used a weed killer that's safe for the lawn. And I let it sit for a couple of days. As you can see, the weeds are totally killed. But I like to come after that and dig up the actual weeds. And that's what I'm doing here. So I'm just going around in all the areas where there was weeds. I'm hand pulling them out. I'm going to collect them. And then we're going to go in and we're going to mow the lawn. Now, the front lawn is not too bad. You'll see later how bad the lawn is. My husband had cut the lawn, I think 2 weeks ago with our electric lawnmower. So today I'm just going to be going in with the manual push mower. My lawn in the front is so small, so I try not to pull out the larger lawnmower if I don't have to. And in this case, it works very well just using the push mower. So you'll see in a sec. So before I get started, I always like to spray the drum with a little WD-40 just to make sure that as I'm pushing, I'm not having like a screeching sound. Everything just goes nice and smooth. And with these push behind mowers, it's really important for you to go at a good pace so that all of the clippings collect inside of the bag. I purchased this from Sears online during the pandemic, and I absolutely love it. It's my backup mower, and whenever I have a larger job, I always use the electric Cobalt lawnmower that I have. So after I mow, I always like to go in and trim, and this probably will be the last time that you'll see me using this edger. We recently picked up a Ryobi One battery operated trimmer that I have to learn how to use because I've become accustomed to this particular Black & Decker one. And I think, this is probably like my second season, and edging is coming very natural to me on this particular edger. So I just have to, figure out the speed and pressure that I have to do on the Ryobi. But I'm super excited that I don't have to have the cord and that I'll have more flexibility with doing my edging. So you'll see that on some videos to come. As I'm out in the front, I'm always, conversating with my neighbors. They know that I'm always out like doing something in the front or the back landscape, and I just absolutely love it. They sometimes come over and, ask questions, or we just talk about, gardening in general. So I really do enjoy, that part about being out on a Saturday. So when the blower comes out, I know that the portion of the project that I'm working on is coming to an end, and then we can move on to the next step. So I just wanted to share this path makeover, which was my Spring 24 side path makeover. We totally revamped the space. I stained all of the pavers this nice sleek color. We put fresh mulch, we integrated the stone, and we're just enjoying the space. I'm so happy that all of the plants are just thriving. This one is a corabelle. The flowers haven't come up yet, but you can see it is perked up. The hostas have just burst and come up and flank the walkway. And I am so happy with how everything looks. So now we're coming to the backyard. As you can see, I've been spending all my time in the front yard. I have tons of high grass up along the fence line. I have no idea how grass grows there. I think when my neighbors seed on the other side, I think the grass seed comes over onto my rock wall on that side. So I always have to cut it down. But look at my grass. My grass has to be about 7 inches in some areas. I have a bunch of weeds that I have to take care of. I did a portion of this one night after work. I sprayed with the same weed killer that's safe for lawns that I did in the front, because as you can see, I have so many patches of different types of weeds throughout, some that are flowering and some that are not. So we're going to definitely tackle all of this weeds in the back. So tonight I'm just basically trying to get up all of the debris on the lawn. So you're just going to see me doing a lot of raking, picking up acorns, the large and also the smaller ones, and just, I think I collected about a full lawn bag of just waste that's on the lawn itself. In case you're new here, I just wanted to let you know my property has huge 50 plus evergreen trees. So most of this that you see me raking up is the pine straw that falls from those trees in the fall and over the winter. And that collects here on the lawn. So every month or so during the off season, we get blanketed by all of the pine straw and also the acorns. So when spring comes, we really have to make sure that we get all of that up off the lawn so that the lawn can breathe and it can start, being fertilized and seeded and just, perk up for the spring season. So that's what all of this debris is. So the other day I sprayed everything, and this is how it looks after, I think it was 2 nights. So as you can see, the weed killer is definitely working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and I'm going to pick up the balance of the acorns that I can see and any branches, because we're then going to be going in with the lawnmower, and I don't want to run over any of the acorns. Now, because the grass is so thick, I do still have some acorns left, once I do the lawn mowing, because I just couldn't see them at that point. They were like really buried. So we're going to go in and we're going to mow the lawn down to, I think I used about a 4 setting on the lawnmower. And I really like the way that it looks for the first mow, and it's only going to get better. After I finished this, I went and I picked up some Scott's Thick and Grow, and that is a fertilizer, It's a soil neutralizer, and it also has seeds in it. So it is just going to be amazing out here. It's going to give us the boost of fertilizer that we need, and it's going to thicken up the lawn really nicely because we're also putting down some seeds. So I will be reporting back, as we start, working back here. You'll see how the grass is coming along. The lawn usually looks amazing back here, so I know that it'll rebound. I just was a little lazy this past fall and I didn't put down the treatments that I usually do, but it's no problem because revitalizing your lawn is an easy thing to do. You just have to put in the time and put down the products and the nitrogen, the phosphorus, that they thrive on. And I have come up with a technique that I really think works really well with my lawn, and also watering, and you'll have a nice lush lawn. As you can see from the beginning clips, we're going to be in the backyard and we're going to be working on the shed and also the barbecue area. So this is how the area is looking. I've already gotten started with pulling out a bunch of items that were just haphazardly collected in this area. Most recently, we found out that our barbecue is not working. So that one has been pulled out and it's on the side, and we're going to have to find a replacement. So I decided that I'll just redo the entire area. We're going to be ripping out the old rubber stepping stones that we had laid down underneath it. We're going to be putting in some actual paver stones with some crushed rock. We're going to be doing a new stain. It's going to be the same slate bare solid stain that we used in the front of the house on the stone wall caps, and I absolutely love the way that stone turned out. So we're going to be using it for its intended use, that stain, which is to stain wood, and we're going to go in and just give it a nice fresh coat of stain. But before we get started there, I just want to clear out the space and get everything, out of the way so that we'll have room to start working on the shed. So when I shared this shed last year, I know some of you had suggested that I add in some shelves so that I can get the bins up off of the floor. So we are going to be exploring that possibility. And we're also going to be looking at all of the items that we have stored out here and trying to pare them back. So I just wanted to thank everyone for joining me today. I hope that you do enjoy this video. I'm recording this last weekend, and it was during the heat wave, and in this section it was so hot. I was right over by the condensers to our mini split system, so I was getting a little breeze, a little fan from the exhaust, but it was still very, very hot. So I was still taking like my breaks. I was working for like 15 to 30 minutes at a time, and then I was taking breaks and definitely going inside and cooling off. I always suggest this to you guys as well, so definitely make sure that you don't stay outside in the heat of the day too long. Make sure that you take breaks so that you can cool down, and then also make the best use of your time. So one of the main things that I want to address is the fact that this shed doesn't have an actual floor. So as you can see, I just used some old like rubber tile that we had in another area. And below it, I put down trash bags because for some reason I thought that that would be a good idea. But now I see that the trash bags actually held the water in, so that whenever it rained, the water that would get into the shed, because it's inevitable, because this is a low spot of the property, it would just sit on top of and below the actual tile. So we're going to pull all this out and examine, how the ground looks, and then we're going to make adjustments. So I was pretty surprised that the floor is actually very level. So all I have to do is to just, in some areas where it's slightly like a little dip in the ground itself, which is more towards the center, I'm just spreading out a little sand. This is playground sand that I had bought for a past project. So I have almost a full bag left. So I'm just going to spread it out. I'm going to tamp it down, and then we're going to add in the pavers. So I picked up 15 pavers to be able to lay down in this section. And they're 12 by 12s because the actual shed is a 4 by 6 foot. But I miscalculated because there is like a slight lip that prevents the tile from going all the way to the edges of the wall. So what I did was I used 2 rows of tile, which I think I was able to get 5 in. So we wound up putting down 10 of them. And then I went in with just some spare pavers that I happened to have to go in the last run of tile. And then I added in some crushed marble rock, which is finishing it off really nicely, and it's also adding to a little more drainage around the perimeter of the floor itself. So these pavers worked out perfectly. So now I picked up picked this up on Costco.com, and it is supposed to be a shelving system that is specifically made for their black and yellow top bins. You basically slide the bins and they rest on the bars. And what I found out is that the only way that I'm able to use that system is to have it the long way, which was taking up too much space inside of the shed. So I did decide not to use the shelving system. So I returned it, and I think I'm going to relocate the bins into the garage, and that way I'll be able to utilize the space for a lot more of my tools and also the lawnmower. So my husband was so great. He came out and he put one of our spare umbrellas in the stand here, just sheltering me so that the hot sun wouldn't be beating down on this area. So it was giving us a lot of shade in this area. So I was very thankful, that he thought of me and came out and set up the umbrella for me. So now we're just moving over to the area of the barbecue section. So everything that I pulled up off of the floor, now I'm just discarding. I'm just putting it inside of one of these large contractor bags, and then we're going to set it outside for it to be picked up on trash day. And then once I get this done, we're going to work on the actual ground itself, trying to level it out, and then we're going to go in with the paver stones. So I just want to truly thank you guys for all of the love and support that you guys show me each and every time that I put out a video. The comments that you leave for me, letting me know like where you're watching from, what you like about the video, and just giving me just words of encouragement definitely make me smile every time that I'm able to read it. So please, I do encourage you to leave comments down below. I always love to hear what you guys are doing, what garden zone you're in, and introducing yourself, especially if your handle is not reflected of your name, because I do like when I reply back to you to always, address you as your name. So if you're able to, just leave your name if your handle is different, because that's how YouTube shows me your comment. It's based on your handle. That would be great, because as you guys know, I love to chat it up with you in the comments.
You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly.
So I just got so carried away with working today. I did plan on doing this step last, but I started laying down the pavers, so I just went in and added in the gravel. I do come back later once I'm staining it, and I have to like shimmy it out of the way so that I'm able to stain all the way down to the ground. But for now, we finished that project, and we're going to move over to working on the planter on the left hand side, and then also just getting rid of these vines that are creeping from the other side of our wall, and then also some weeds that are collecting in the corner as well.
You give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby. And twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink.
So I definitely was putting off working in this section because of the AC units that, are new. As I said to you guys previously, over the winter, our heating system went out. So we had to address it, and we put in electric mini splits. And that's with 2 condensers on the outside, one on this side of the home and one on the back side where the patio is. So the gravel that you see down there was spread as a base to be able to level out the system and just make it work very well in this spot. So typically in this spot I usually put mulch, because this is an area that our sprinklers don't hit. So usually the grass is not growing in too well in this section. So today I decided that I was just going to tackle it, and in doing so it spiraled into working on the shed and then also on the wall as well. So now we're at the point, I just cleaned off the wall. I just used some dish soap and some warm water, and then I sprayed it down. I let it dry, and now we're back out and we're working to add the slate color bare wood stain. And I absolutely love it. It's in solid and it's in color slate. And I picked up this applicator that I'm trying to use now. But as you guys know, I love to apply stain with a brush. So as you can see, I tried with like 4 passes. I didn't like the coverage. So now I'm going in with my chip brush that I use for all of my projects. I love the coverage, and I'm able to apply the stain very quickly and get the results that I'm looking for.
Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, oh, oh,
So this is early the next morning. It did start raining at the end of yesterday, so we did have to stop working. So I'm up early. I want to finish the project up. So I came out, I put down some mulch in that section, and now we're going to be working on the planters now that, we had overnight for the stain to dry, and we are going to just come in, add in some potting soil here in this section, as well as the other one on the left hand side, to just refresh the soil. I'm going to be transplanting some of the flowers that we have in some other areas. Now, about a month or so ago, I shared with you guys that I planted up some zinnias and some marigold. I just sprinkled the seeds, and I said that the seeds were old. They were from the Dollar Tree that I picked up a couple of years ago and I just never used them. Well, this is one of the zinnias that sprouted, and it looks absolutely amazing. So I just grabbed it from the box and I'm gonna transplant it here. There's this one, and then there's also a little baby seedling next to it. So we're just gonna water it in, and then I'm going to pop one of the sedum that I had in another area in the other box, and we're gonna water that in and then also put some mulch down. So now that we're putting the mulch down, I wanted to look back at the before of this area, and then we're going to go into the final reveal of the space. So as you can see, it was a complete mess. We had wood all over the place. We had the old worn out vinyl tiles that we had the old grill resting on. It was full of like junk, just discarded, all items that were from in the backyard. And this is how we turned out. Again, we still have to buy our new grill, but I do have the base nice and sturdy, and I have the planters all planted up so that once I get that, we will just be able to slide it in and do some final decorations around it. This morning it had just finished raining, so that's why you see everything nice and wet, but I did want to share the final reveal with you guys. So I do appreciate you guys for stopping by. I hope that you enjoyed these mini projects and just the work that we've been doing in our landscape overall. So I got up this morning and I decided that I was going to add in some coleus that I had just plucked off the top of them from our planters out front, and I'm just going to root them up inside of these planters and see how they do. So again, I just want to thank you guys for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed these two projects that I shared over the spring summer on Daphne's Outdoor Living. That channel is going to be linked in the description, so you can check out all the mini projects that I shared over the past 2 years on that channel. I'm also going to be showcasing 2 projects at the end of the video. So if you're interested, make sure you check out Daphne's Outdoor Living. Until the next time, have a blessed day.